Hi, this is Larry from YouTube Garden, and if you remember from a prior video we showed you how to build this garden. What we're going to show you today is how we plan out the garden. The garden was intended for asparagus, and we decided that we would also throw in a couple of raspberry bushes along the back. You can combine asparagus with other things and it will grow healthily alongside them. Some people even say you can put it in your flower garden. We don't know. We may try that, but we haven't tried it yet. So what we do first is we take all of our plants. We have chosen this brand of asparagus, and in this case, this brand of asparagus may not be the best. It is a Washington variety. There's a new variety from Jersey. Actually, I don't smell that new, but it's predominantly male sprouts, and because they don't seed, there's less weeding. So you tend to get more asparagus from the Jersey version than you'll get out of this version, and so it's probably worth pursuing for the amount of time that you have. But this is what we have today, so this is what we're going to plant. What I've done is I've laid out all the asparagus plants exactly where I want them. You're supposed to plant them approximately 1.5 feet apart. I tend to diagonal them a little bit, and maybe you might get some a little closer than what you want, but in general the idea is to lay them out as best you can exactly where you want them. I've also got my raspberry plants, which aren't all that virile looking at the moment, but those should shoot up into nice plants, and I'll plant those along the back to grow up along the fence that's behind here and cover it up. Alright, so right here we have our asparagus. This is what we're planting, and usually you'll get it and it'll come in some kind of a container, usually a plastic bag, something like this. You take it out of the plastic bag, and what you'll usually have is some sort of a mulch, which you can reuse in your garden, and the mulch is just intended to keep the roots relatively damp. We don't want them to totally dry out because they'll die. And individual plants that you separate one at a time. The plants are condensed because they've been packaged together to be efficiently shipped across country or from wherever they can. And you have to flatten out the root system because the fruits on these plants are meant to grow this way. They're not meant to grow like this. A lot of people will plant the plant in like this and not get a good result. What you want to do is you want to flatten out the root system. So if you take a look in our hole, you can see I've taken one plant and I've laid it into its hole. The hole is approximately 1 foot or so wide, and approximately it can be between 6 inches and 1 foot deep. Fine, 6 to 8 inches is just fine typically. Lay it down flat in the hole, spread the roots out nice and flat, and then what you do is we want you to take a nice fertile soil. In this case, normally we don't use something like Miracle-Gro or another fertile, already pre-fertilized soil, but because asparagus is so desiring of nutrients, we recommend that you use a very fertile soil for it. And you just take the soil and throw it over the top. Don't completely fill the hole. Just take enough to cover the plant, approximately 3 inches. Now we're going to water this later, and these shoots will come up through this soil. We will not cover it again until we see those shoots coming above the soil. Then we'll cover it completely, and then that'll allow the plant to grow all the way through to the surface without too much resistance. The next video we do on asparagus will show you all of these planted and how to take care of them once they've started to grow through the soil. Thank you. This is Larry from YouTube Garden, and thank you for watching.